Hey guys, what's up? And tonight we're going to be doing OET Pretest 5, and we're also going to be going over all of our lesson ones for each chapter. We're going over lesson one because you know the OET test is tomorrow, okay? And we're also going to talk about that too, okay? And tonight, all of your pre-tests are going to be turned.
Get your cookie, Annie. I just brought this in. It's getting chilly in here. Sweetie, don't wait till too late. You'll be up all night.
Sorry about that. Anyways, they're going to be turned in. They're to be turned in by 9 o'clock. That is in like 15 minutes. Tests. All your pre-tests have to be turned in. No, 5 though. Your lesson 5 doesn't have to be turned in until tomorrow night. Okay, for the test. Okay, so we're going to talk about the tests after we go over on lesson 5, pre-test OET, and then what we're going to do is I have a little project for us to do. Okay. Right, and we'll do something else too before we go. Okay, so basically, here is lesson 5. Okay, here's lesson 5. Depending on here and all the other ones. You already know you're taking the last pre-test, OET pretest. If you finish this one early, you're going to be asked to look over chapter 5, chapter lesson 1. All the chapters from lesson 1, okay, from each chapter, as we'll be taking that test tomorrow. So after you guys get done with this one, which I'm going to go over right now, you're going over that one. Turn in by 9 o'clock tonight, which is probably like in less than we have about 15 minutes. So let's go over this really quick. What is lesson? Just don't say it, okay? And you can use your the live streams that we did, guys, okay, for these answers, okay? I have no problem with that. You can also use it on the test tomorrow, okay? So this should be pretty easy, as if you already know, you're allowed to use your notes on my live streams from all lesson 1 from 1 to 5. Keep that in mind. What year were the two West Card parents born? Okay. How long did the Dover War last? Okay. What year did the two West Cars have their first child? Which car was it? Explain the life of the West Free car. Okay. Explain the West Car family styles and touches, and how they are similar and different. Explain what happened if they were to install. They were to install a West Forest Service car and how it would operate. Explain the distance between the West Car family and the Central car. Okay. There's your OET Pretest 5. You don't have to turn it in until tomorrow, but the other ones are going to be turned in tonight, okay? Or else you're not going to do good on the test tomorrow, because you are allowed to use the pretest too. Make sure you guys, if you didn't get them done, make sure you get them done before 10 o'clock. Okay, I changed it to 10 o'clock. It's too soon. Okay, make sure you get it turned in before 10 o'clock so you can have tomorrow along with the live streams. Okay, so let's go over all of lesson 1 now, from 1 to 5, chapters 1 to 5. Okay, so in January, 2 months ago, we did chapter 1, our very first chapter, over UPMC Montefiore. Okay, so we where your story begins at UPMC Montefiore, which is on 7M, which is the main floor. G is also an entrance, but that's for Fifth Avenue, and 4 is also an entrance too. That's where the ambulatory entrance is for surgery. So we talked about the basing, which is the start of the story. Okay. We talked about the main elevators. We talked about their points. We did either M, and it either ends on 12 or 4. And we know that it did on floor 12, which is up, and floor 4, which is down. Okay? This elevator is a UPMC modifier. We learned that these three and these two have the orange walls inside of them. So they're the service cars on the left, three main ones. These are ones that serve all the floors. And there's the one that only goes from 4 to 12 with the orange walls. We did our questions. We learned that these cars are considered the same as the main service cars. They both share the same traits together. Right there. That you had on the pre-test are not going to be on the test tomorrow. There's going to be all kinds of different questions you actually have to. The most thing you have to do on a test, which we're going to talk about after we're done here with our stuff, is prediction. Okay, we're going to talk about the most important thing on the test tomorrow, OET test, which is prediction. Okay. So the east car. We did the questions for them. And then we talked about the south cars, which had that interesting chime on them. Okay? These are really interesting. Okay? And we did the questions for them. And there's one passenger on one car, which is this one right here. And I tried pushing that up and down button on the side of the door. You know how some freighter service elevators have that? I tried pushing that button, it didn't work. You have to like call it from the main from the passenger elevator bank. It'll come to that floor. Okay. You can ride it. Honestly, you can ride that freight elevator in the Coffin building. It's right out in the public area. And it serves as a passenger elevator as well, but it's just taller than the other four. Mine. That's because it says freight service doesn't mean anything. It's in a public area and it's on the same controller. So remember that. It is in a healthcare facility. So I did the questions for them. Carlisle elevator. We talked about the old one and the new one. There's the old one. The paint job from this one was taken on December 3rd of 2016. This one was taken on January 7th, 2017, which is 2 months ago. There's the newer car, which is Houghton. Okay. Then we did questions for it. And then we did the overview for lesson 1. So that's lesson 1. That's to lesson 2. Let's go to, which now takes us to chapter 2, lesson 1. Because we're not doing we did the whole thing. We did every lesson in each chapter. It would probably take you like 5 hours. So we're only doing lesson 1. So now we move on to chapter 2, which we talked about the Cathedral of Learning. Now, Jonathan, you remember when we talked about the Cathedral of Learning, right? Last month? Over it. Talked about the artist's transformation. The Westinghouse that was completely modernized, transformed. We talked about how a Westinghouse transforms into an Otis compass system. And we learned that modernization means what? It's right there. If you're watching a live stream, down there. It's right there. It means upgrade or change. Okay? Upgrade or change. We learned that the very first footsteps into the Cathedral of Learning could change views of Toronto elevators in so many ways. Chaotic movement change. We talked about the chaotic movement, which meant a confusing movement in which someone or something doesn't know where to go. Okay? Now, before the modernization began at the Cathedral of Learning, we knew that there was probably a chaotic movement trying to find the right elevator to take to your floor. Okay, but when the Otis compass system was born at the Cathedral of Learning in 2014, things have really changed. We did the question. We talked about the original new braille and some of the floors. Okay. We talked about the O car, the shuttle port. Sprit. We talked about the stands in the lobby to call the elevator. And we talked about traffic limiting, and it is the limit of waiting for something like an elevator. Okay, we talked about the main indicator on floor G outside the elevator. You had to explain what that indicator meant to you. Okay, we did the review. Then that takes us to, does anybody have any questions about Chapter 2, Lesson 1, Jonathan?
No.
So that's Chapter 2, Lesson 1. You can use all of this on the tomorrow. But it's not going to be the same question. It's going to be all kinds of different, it's going to be, like I said, we'll get to in a little bit here. We talked about Lesson 7. Oops, sorry. There it is. Lesson 4. We did that about, when was that? We did that about 3 weeks ago. We talked about the East Liverpool City Hospital. East. We talked about the Pretest and how it was the Otis Palace, Steubenville, Ohio. How was the Otis Palace, Steubenville, Ohio? I didn't know. I didn't say. I didn't ask you how it was. We talked about the high-rise elevators and the low-rise elevators, how they're different. Okay. We learned that Trinity does have a big story behind all the Otis elevators in Steubenville, Ohio. The difference between the high-rise elevator panel and the low-rise elevator panel are the fixtures and the floor, and the fixtures basically. The machines are different too. The low-rise ones are bottom drive. So the low-rise ones are bottom drive. What are the high-rise ones? You may not be able to hear when you get to the 9th floor, but they're overhead machines. Okay. And then we had a question from. And we talked about the service elevators, the ones both high-rise and low-rise. We talked about the 2 service elevators that don't go to the tunnel, and the 1 go to the tunnel. We talked about the Ross Park service elevator. Okay, this one's a bottom drive, and these 2 are overhead. Even though this one goes to the tunnel, which is a mechanical room, and leads to the boiler house. Okay. We had 2 questions from. We talked about the high-rise and low-rise passenger and service elevator cab. This is the passenger elevator cab for both. Well, this one's for the high-rise car, and this one's for the low-rise passenger car. High-rise passenger car. If this is the cab for the high-rise passenger car, and this is the cab for the low-rise passenger car, then what's this cab for then? Oh, so the service elevator, right? This actually used to be orange at one time, then they painted it. It's strange. And we had a question for that. We talked about the smallest elevator in Steubenville, Ohio. Jonathan, what was that small elevator called? It wasn't meant for riders. It was meant for putting food on it. What's that?
I don't know.
A small elevator for transporting food from the cafeteria or other medical supplies that no riders can ride on. It's pretty dumb. Yeah. It's pretty dumb. What's it called? It's a dumb elevator. What's it called?
True.
No, what's it called, really? It's a dumb what? What are the small elevators called? The circle window. It has like freight elevator doors on it. You seriously don't know that small elevator is called a circle window on it, do you? Really, Jonathan, really, be honest. Do you know what it's called? It has a circle window and freight elevator doors on it. It's not meant for riders. What's it called? It starts with a D. A dumb. What? A dumb way. A dumb way. How about this? Okay. Dumb, right? And here's a person at, what is a person called that waits on you at the restaurants? Jonathan. What's a person called that waits you at the restaurants? A wait what? A waiter, right? Okay, so if you ever put those two words together, dumb and waiter, what would that make? Oh, come on, Jonathan, you know it. Dumbwaiter, okay? So it's called a dumbwaiter. It was a small freight elevator used for transporting goods and food and other small medical supplies. I didn't even know what a dumbwaiter was, but there it is. That's because he wasn't paying attention. Okay? For those of you who were paying attention, I give you a big thanks for paying attention. And we had a question for it. Then we talked about the freight elevator in the back of the kitchen. And that's the one that goes to the loading dock up to the kitchen. This one is a bottom drive, and the machinery is in the tunnel. Okay, there are the pictures of it. And remember those arrows I told you guys about? We said that those arrows represent the citrus tower. Citrus tower in Claremont, Florida. Those arrows right there represent the citrus tower, not the citrus tower, the citrus tower in Claremont, Florida. I'd like to show you a video of that elevator, but I don't have a video of it. And if I was to show you somebody else's video, I'd probably get a copyright claim. So I'm not going to do it. But there's what the arrows look like in that tower, too. Probably the fixture, the call station is probably the same, too. Typical kitchen elevator. There are the questions for it. And then, we know that this is the only elevator on the whole entire Trinity East campus to serve 2 floors. This is also the third bottom drive traction elevator in the hospital. In 1968, it was found by Ohio's elevator president on May 25th of 2013 on a Saturday afternoon, which now takes us to the C and D wing, the older wing of Trinity East, which are floors G, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This part of the building is straight from the late 1930s, early 1940s. This is pretty much abandoned, but there is a school of nursing on the other end, though, and a gym on the first floor. Let's go back here. Overhead machine. It has the ThyssenKrupp call station on the outside on the first floor for fire service. In 2005, you probably already know that they put on that call station on the first floor, and they put it in 2005 along with the D car before it died. And then, okay, so it has Otis fixtures on the inside for the car operating panel, but for the fire panel, it has ThyssenKrupp fixtures. So, if I was to combine that together, it's Otis and ThyssenKrupp, what would I get? What does Otis plus ThyssenKrupp equal? I know Jonathan's not going to know it, so I'll say it for you. So this is an Otis panel right here, and this is a ThyssenKrupp fire service panel right here. So Otis plus ThyssenKrupp equals, there's no calculator for it, Otis Krupp or Dovis. Okay, it doesn't matter how, you can put it however you want. But it has to be not Conus, counting Kone, part of it. You can only use Otis Krupp or Dovis. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. And we had a question for that. Okay. And I just told you guys that if you were to combine those, you would get Otis Krupp or Dovis. You can use it however you want. Don't use any other elevator besides ThyssenKrupp or Dovis, Otis Krupp. And then we talked about the death of the D Corps, which was the very first elevator installed at the hospital. It died peacefully in 2005 at an unknown day, time, or month. Nobody knows what day it died, nobody knows what time it died, or nobody knows what month it died. It will always be a remembrance to our beloved Otis elevators at Trinity East. It served in the Ohioan Elevator War in 1953. Which sadly, we're not going to be able to talk about that because that takes a really long time to talk about it, like the Otis War. There are your pictures. And we talked about the interesting stairwell on the ground floor. Why? Because the elevator opens up inside of it. Directly. Keyword, directly. Okay? And then we talked about who maintains all the elevators at Trinity East. Now, come on, Jonathan. What kind of van is that at Walmart's in Steubenville? You don't know what kind of elevator van it is. Do you have what in terms of the T and K? What brand is that? TK is what? You seriously don't know what TK is? What brand is that? Okay, ThyssenKrupp maintains all the elevators at Trinity. Huh?
Ford.
It's a Ford van. But what is that? What's an elevator company starts calls it starts with the T?
ThyssenKrupp.
There you go, ThyssenKrupp. That's who maintains all the elevators at the Trinity locations. And you know that they're Otis. Can ThyssenKrupp still maintain them? Yes, it can. Because that's their contract. Okay. So then we did the review. Now, to chapter. Does anybody have any questions about chapter 3 before we move on to chapter 4, lesson 1? Okay. You can ask always before the test tomorrow. Don't ask after the test starts, okay? Because we're not allowed to make sure you ask before the test starts tomorrow. You can even ask next time we're done here. We talked about the old and the fire in chapter 4, lesson 1 about 3 weeks ago. The remains of being old. There's an North car. Talked about fire at proof. It is a fire that is not too hot. Or not too what? What's the opposite of hot? Burns. What's the opposite of hot? What's Katy Perry's song? One of Katy Perry's songs. Don't say roar. Because you're hot and you're what?
Hot wings.
Hot wings. I've never heard of that. No, really. You're hot and what? Hot and you're what? What is it outside? What's a freezing temperature? What's a freezing mean? It's freezing hot or cold? It's cold. It's not too hot, not too cold. It is lukewarm, which means it's just which means it's just right. Now, where does the fireproof lead us to in my first step? There's the North car, service car. This is a service car. It's a nice service elevator too. I like it. It was born on 4/30/1954, just 2 years before the OEW High Elevator War ended in 1956. It's been through a lot of events, just serving in a High Elevator War too, from 1975 to 2006. In the summer of 2009, the North car survived a door operator attack after having a rough night with its interlock. In March 2016, the North car suffered a terrible sickness called oil leak, which was last March. The oil leak went on from Easter of March 2016 till July 2016. Okay, from March to July 2016, Easter of 2016 to July 2016. On December 21st, 2016, which was 3 months ago, and 2 days after Ohio's elevator president visited the hospital, which was on December 19th, the North car was diagnosed at UPMC Elevator Center to only find out one terrible thing. Guys, trust me, we're going to have a prayer for this elevator once we get everything done, okay? The North car has door cancer. It may not live much longer, as it seems. So we need to keep praying for that elevator, okay? That it will live as long as it can. When Ohio's elevator president visited the East Airport City Hospital on February 11th, 2017, the president learned that the door operator on the North car is wearing off, and he knew that the North car would not last longer. So, it comes to an Ohio's elevator president, which is Ron Reidy, is the Ohio elevator president. It's not Clay Luce. It's not Northeast. It's not Northeast Elevator. It's not Patterson Elevator. Not any Ohio elevator filmer. He requested that the North car may need a door operatory procedure, which is a surgery where an elevator's door operator is repaired from pushback errors. Okay? It's going to be in May or June of 2017. But whenever it is, we're sure to be praying for that car. And it's going to be done at UPMC Elevator Center, okay? We learned there are some interesting things that you probably saw in the first 5 photos of the North car. And we know that the interesting things are the call station on B has a B button. And the call station on 1 is on the right side of the car. The indicator on 1 needs a little bit of repair, which was repaired. Now let's go ahead and visit the North car inside. See inside. Okay? Get the questions. Now, burn! Burn, Neil! Burn! Burn in the fire of proof. It is the oldest elevator at East Liverpool City Hospital, the good old West car. It may not be hard to find in this photo. Where is it? Honestly, where is it? It's right here, right? Because for one, there's in case of fire sign, a call button, and there's 2 windows, and there's like an elevator door. Now, as you probably see down there, there's the North car. Let's review this car. It was a true survivor and served in the Ohioan Elevator War. Let's take a look at the pictures of it now. There it is on each floor. It has a different color on each floor, except for these 2 floors. B and 2. 1 and 3 are colors. I like the doors on 3. I wonder how they painted. So these be blue. What he did the renovations. There are the fixtures. Inside the cabin, a gate. We know that the West car is the first elevator that was born at the hospital in 1 February 1930. The car was born before the North car's time. And the North car was born in 1954. Okay? So this one came before the second elevator was installed. The West car survived a generic missile in 1954 when an Indian elevator ruler bombed half of the war field that the Iowan Elevator War was taking place on. July 2005, the West car faced a serious motor generator stroke after suffering a long night of relay aches. Now, this West car survived in its life. Reidy makes the move to protect, watch, and love. PWL makes the move to protect, watch, and love that elevator. 2008, August of 2008, Ohio's elevator president, which he was a Canadian at this time, finds a true survivor and server of the Ohioan Elevator War and unites to promise to protect it, watch over it, and love the West car for the rest of its natural-born life. In November, Reidy learned that the West car was suffering a flu called generitis. This is a flu where an elevator's motor generator overheats for a long time. This flu lasted until June of 2009, so it lasted from November of 2008 to June of 2009. And how it got better was the Northwest car took a special medicine that would cure its flu. So besides learning that the West car had generitis and lewotitis on December 19th of 2016, our elevator president of Ohio then comes to us with the West car on February 11th of 2017. At the West car, May. Sir. And this cancer is called generator cancer. This is a cancer where an elevator has scissor gate issues and leveling issues. Both scissor gate and leveling issues. This car was diagnosed. This car will be diagnosed on the Wednesday before Easter. See if it does have generator cancer or not. We'll hope and pray that it doesn't have generator cancer. Okay. We did the questions over it. So we learned that whether if you're older, you're still very special no matter if we do face wrong a lot or have cancer. Okay. The overview. Okay. Now we move on to Chapter 5, Lesson 1. The West car family. For the West cars, all 3 of them. These are the 2 parents. And these are this is the West 3 car. Look, looks like some surgeons are doing some surgery there. It is renowned for surgery, that place. Both OVMC Medical Center and Wheeling. And use the Ohio Regional Hospital more. We'll talk more about the facilities later. But it won't involve elevators. So we welcome ourselves to East Ohio Regional Hospital in Martinsville, Ohio, on 90 North 4th Street. We learned about the interesting elevators from old to new in this lesson. We're going to see the visitor elevators that were installed in 1984 and 2003. We're going to talk about their timeline. They were born on 11/8/1984 and 11/26/1984. They were born. These two cars were interesting. Let's see some pictures of them and let's review what they faced in their life. There they are right there. Now, let me ask you this. Do they look like service elevators to you? Look, just because it's an atmosphere like that doesn't mean it's a service elevator, okay? All right? Don't be saying, okay, well, that looks like a service area. Why are we in the service area? I wasn't. This is a visitor elevator. If it was a service elevator, it would probably have a metal floor in it. They're nice elevators. This one has a rear door, by the way. This one right here. There's a call stations on G. They served in the Dover War at the age of 9, which is pretty strange because you can't serve in a war. This war lasted from 1985 to 2000. The reason why these two cars served in the Dover War at the age of 9 was because of their Dover blood inside of them. Okay? On 10/17/2003, 14 years ago, the cars are given a miracle of a child. And we're going to talk about that next. The two cars face a serious procedure of an oil dentry. We learned about an oil dentry, and it's left the two cars ill for about 10 days. This is on 10/25/13. The elevator child now, which is that West 3 car. Born on 10/17/2003. And it's the son of the two West cars that were born in 1984. In November of 1984. The child has always been healthy. President Reidy accepted that this child is in good condition in May of 2010. President Reidy thinks the car is still in good condition today. The child attends an elevator school unknown as in 8th grade, soon to be a freshman this fall, to attend college after graduating high school in 4 years in 2021. Yeah. So let's take a look at the pictures of this car. And we know the similarities and differences, styles and touches to the West car family. And we talked about what would it be like if they were to install a service elevator, which would be a West 4 elevator. Then we talked about the hallway on G and the hallway on 1. And Jonathan, you there? Near the free East cars, and down that way is the Central car. Okay, we know the Central car is older than the West cars. Which we're going to be doing a project about that Central car down there right now. So let's head down that hallway and get into our project, shall we? Well, there is a security camera down there, though. Better be careful. Security it's a small hospital, so not like UPMC. You better be extra careful here. Now this takes us to our project now, okay? Questions over all of the chapters, from lessons, chapter 1 to 5, lesson 1. Anybody? Ask now, okay? Until you okay, Jonathan? You okay? Okay, so, oh yeah, guys, listen. I'll talk about really quick. I don't know what time it's going to be, but in the next 2 minutes, there's going to be a fire drill, okay? We're in this room. We're going, if you're in your room, you're going to go out and stand out in your intersection of your hallway. So you're all there, okay? I think it's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. So you hear the alarm going off as the inspector in advance. You might want to turn down your volume. You're just going to go out into your hallway and stand in your intersection until you hear the all clear signal. So while we're waiting for that, let's talk about our project. for chapter 5. So, the central car, scope of work, repairs, modernization. Jonathan. Here it is on 2R, by the way. Requirements. Okay, I'm going to wait for Jonathan here. It's going to be at 9:24, guys. Like 4 minutes. So I want to try and get this done before it happens. So, while we're waiting for our fire drill to start, another thing we're going to do. Listen, really quick. Before I get into this, we're not goofing around. We're going to stand out in the intersection of our hallway until we hear the all clear signal. Okay? So while we're waiting for that, here are your requirements. You're going to write up a plan for the scope of work, which would include fixture replacement, the interior, the controller, the relays, obviously, the bottom drive machinery, or the haul station. And all of these are part of a modernization project, so keep that in mind, okay? You're going to review your elevator car, which includes taking measurements of the car, measuring the interior, okay, and the exterior. And you write down some things about the car that are being replaced. You're going to explain the modernization phase, like when it's being modernized, you're going to explain how you're going to work it out, like what you're going to do step by step when you're modernizing it, removing things, installing new things. The thing I'd mostly like to see, if I was to do a project on this, what I choose is the machinery on it. All they'd have to do is just rip out the old bottom drive machinery and then put in a new hydraulic tank. And it's only 4 stories, so it could be easily hydraulic. Oh, and another thing, guys, listen. When you guys leave your room, make sure you guys turn off your light, okay? Because here's why. The fire department wants us to turn off our lights, okay, when we leave, okay? It's going to happen here in about 1 minute, okay? So I want to try and get through this before it happens. Project. Guys, please do not freak out when you hear that alarm. Don't be saying, oh my God, there's a fire. No, we are not doing that. I told you guys that the other day. We're going to stay as calm as we can, okay? It's not a big deal, okay? We've done this before. We've done a bomb threat drill. Everything's going to be fine. Trust me. I shouldn't hear, I'm scared, or anything like that. Okay? So you're going to explain how you concluded the modernization project, okay? How are you going to conclude your modernization, right? How did you modernize the elevator in general, okay? So you're going to write a paragraph about that. I don't care how long you make it, as long as you're giving a full detailed conclusion about your modernization project. You'll present it when you're done, okay? Your results going to have to be turned in until March 23rd, okay? You're going to turn it in March 23rd and present it to us, okay? I better expect a better grade when we present it on Thursday, March 23rd, and that's just the day before the elevator of the year induction. Any questions on this project? Are we all good with this project? Jonathan, you good? Right? Okay. Okay, guys, so that's not being turned in until March 20th, a day before the elevator of the year induction. And guys, year induction, I already found out, okay? So we're all going to it, okay? I want you guys on your best behavior when we go, okay? And we'll just hope and pray that the Steubenville car gets inducted for elevator of the year will get chosen for Elevator of the Year for hospitals in Ohio. Okay, so wish it the best luck for now. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. Does anybody have any questions about the project? Okay. Have any questions about the OET pre-tests? Do you have any questions about the OET tomorrow? Oh yeah, tomorrow when you take the OET, you're gonna have to. All the questions are you're going to be predicting. Okay, you're going to like predict each of the. You're going to restate as usual. You're going to do the same things. You're going to follow the same requirements as your pre-test. Okay, and you're going to give a full detailed prediction for each question. Okay, it's not going to be the same questions from the pre-test, like I said. And you are allowed to use your pre-tests and your in our live streams. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let me show you. Let me show you an example here. Okay. This is how you conclude when you do your modernization project on the Central car. We're not going to get to the traction cars until maybe another time. Maybe towards the end of the school year, we'll do something fun. Like we'll pick one elevator from East High. We'll do a we'll do a fun little project over it and present it. So there's an example of how you might want to modernize the Central car. It can include new controller, ascension, overspeed protection, new operation components, fixtures, all hoistway doors. Operation component, all hoistway doors. So doesn't tell me. The fixtures are also part of the modernization as well. Okay, guys. So, hey guys, listen. How many of you are watching this live stream right now? Okay, if you're watching this live stream right now, I need you guys to have headphones in. Please turn down headphones right now. Okay? Listen, we hear the fire alarm blare off. You are not the panic, okay? That's all I know. Jonathan knows that. Right, Jonathan?
Right.
It's going to start any second. So make sure you guys keep all that stuff in mind, okay? And all of your pre-tests are going to be turned in by tomorrow night before you take the OET assessment, okay? There's going to be a lot of questions on there, so. That's clear.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay, Jonathan. Trust me. We're going to do this, actually. We're going to do this two more times after this, okay? That's how I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, okay? But it will give you guys a little headphone signal, okay? When it is going to happen. So what I'm going to do is, I've already been told I'm going to count down so you guys can turn down your headphones. Okay? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to start any second. Ready to go, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good week this week?
Yeah.
That's good. 3, 2, 1. Jonathan. You here? Elevator Tisson? Crazy Bengals.
Oh, no, not him.
Colin McDonald.
Yeah.
Elevators.
Nope.
Julian the Grunnies. Danielle Sagan. Guys, listen. Your name's being called right now. We just need to do this attendance here to make sure everyone's out here, not inside goofing around. Let's see. Friend 1. Friend 3. Friend 4. Where's friend 5? He's in the restroom. Maybe he comes out. Friend 6. Friend 7. Friend D. All the friends are here except for friend 5. Mark on friend 5. He's missing. He's in the restroom. Somebody unfortunately told me. Thanks for telling me. Ryan Reidy, I'm here. Dan Sharp. Steve 1849892. By Genesis Elevators. Liam Mangler.
Elevator New York for Genesis Elvis is not on this hall.
And Brennan Wood.
Well, actually,
Don't call the people that are absent. Guys, don't do that. Don't be pushing each other. So we have everybody out here. No, go. Hey, don't go back in yet. So you're the all clear signal. We need to have perfect attendance over this. This is a really serious thing. This is a serious thing about. So I hope on the way out we didn't laugh about it. We didn't say, oh, we didn't say, oh my, there's a fire somewhere. I hope we didn't react that way. Because you're being ABC if you did. I think we got everybody outside, friends, Mom. Can we bring him back in yet? Okay, guys, we're all clear. Okay, guys, so that was just our monthly fire drill this month in May. So keep in mind that you have the OET test tomorrow. Be sure to look over the OET pretest, and you can start working on your project if you get done studying your pretest. I don't care how long you study your pretest, okay? And I don't care every time you work on your project as long as you get it done by March 23rd. Remember the elevator year induction on March 24th. Is everybody okay? Okay. So that's it for let's go over this last month before we go. That's a little bit about my church night, okay? How does that sound? I know but it's actually not just for me, it's for anybody else. Point Youth. 6 to 8 p.m. I'll talk about that too. We play a game when we first get to the church, when we first get to the youth group. It's in the Grace Point Annex at 4244 Sunset Boulevard. After we play a game for a little bit, we go into the back room and we have worship. Okay. And then after that, we usually get into a group. Men are on one side and girls are on the other side, which are in the back room, and us boys are out in the front. We have a little conversation about what we learned. Okay. Then we just do whatever we want after we do that, because then that means church is now over. We can do whatever we want. So if you guys would like to, if you ever guys are in the area and like to go to Grace Point Annex, it's at Sunset Boulevard, 4244. We're in the annex of Grace Point. So yeah, I hope you guys. I'll show you guys pictures of the place. Okay. So we just got that done. Tomorrow's the OET test. On Saturday we're gonna be going over, or on Monday we're going over Weir Medical Center. Over overview on March 10th, which will be next week. We'll get to the Robinson Mall in 2 weeks. Our induction is on March 24th. After that, we'll do Chapter 8 on 3/25. And then we'll do Chapter 10, Lesson 1 on 4/1/17. So I'm going to show you guys pictures of Grace Point Annex. This is personal info, because it ain't. I'm serious. So there's the room where we go into the worship, okay? About 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's about 33 kids in the room. That's not that bad. There's the front of the room where the preacher usually speaks. We have worship songs on the big screen over there. If you need to go to the restroom, you go back there to the stock room where the restrooms are. This used to be a gambling place. You go back there where the stock room is and use the bathroom. Right? A public bathroom, because it is. Right? It doesn't get a chance renovated yet. Let me see. So there's the room where we play our games at, and then if you go behind that big stockroom door, or through that door, it takes you back to where we worship at. So come on out, the Grace Point Annex. 6 to 8 p.m. Wednesday nights. Okay? All right? That's a little announcement there. Thanks. I think that's going to be it for tonight, but guys, thanks for joining me today. Thanks, guys, so much for doing what you're told in a fire drill. So for now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the OET, which is a high elevator test.
Remember, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to help me drop by on elevator.
Okay. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Adios.